Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm Chris with AffinityHM.com, and tonight we're going to talk about weighted blankets and sleep disorders. So, if you have a sleep disorder or if you know anyone who does, I'm going to explain several important sleep disorders, a little bit about each one, the weighted blanket, and how the weighted blanket can make a huge difference. My wife, for example, has some fibromyalgia, and using the weighted blanket is something she absolutely loves. As a matter of fact, it's a little bit cold down south here, or it's cold to me anyway. Some of you folks up north, or maybe in Canada, maybe you don't think 43 degrees is cold, but to me it's cold. So I went ahead and took the weighted blanket and wrapped it around me here. So later on, I'm going to show you more about the actual weighted blanket. But right now, I just want to welcome you to the show. Thank you for being here. If you would, type into comments. I'm curious about the temperature where you are. How cold is it? Is it less than 43? Is it more than 43? If it's much less than 43, I don't know if I could handle it, but I would love to know how cold it is where you are right now. And so welcome to the show. First thing I want to do tonight, before we get into the weighted blanket, is let's talk about Cpap news. So there's a little bit of news I want to share with you. And as you're listening to the news, why don't you also comment not just the temperature where it is, where you are now, but also type in comments hashtag blanket, just like you see scrolling across the bottom of the screen right there, hashtag blanket. You just put that into comments, regardless of where you're watching, be it LinkedIn, Facebook, the Facebook group. Type that into comments. Now, if you're on Facebook, you will have to authorize Facebook. If you look at the bottom of the description, there's a little link you can press, and it will ask you, is it okay that we say your name out here on Chris's show? And so that's on Facebook. But on any other platform, you just simply type in hashtag blanket, and then you're going to be entered into a contest. Someone is going to win a gift card to our website where you can, it'll help you out a good little bit on purchasing a weighted blanket or any other item that you might be interested in. So if you would, type in comments, hashtag blanket, let me know the temperature where you are. And now let's get to the news. The biggest news happening right now is I want you to know that our Cpap machines are here. We have the Respite iBreeze. Cpap is an auto Cpap machine. It was $849. We've dropped the price to $749. Plus, it's a fine machine. I've been setting up Cpaps for about almost 30 years, and it's one of the best that I've ever seen. It has a nice weight to it, so you might not have to worry about pulling it off of your nightstand as much. It looks super sharp. You can see a picture of it on our website. It has a lot of functionality from a user standpoint, and also from a technology standpoint. The algorithms that it uses to change the pressure, etc., are really top notch. So I really like the machine, and I welcome you to come in and check out that Respite. They are now in stock, the iBreeze Auto Cpap machines. So that's what's happening in the news. So now let's get to talking about weighted blankets and sleep disorders. Now, before we get too deep into this, I want to remind everyone that I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy who set up a lot of CPAPs, and I do a good deal of research before doing these shows. So everything that I say is coming from information that I have gleaned and learned. So first, let's. What I want to do is actually do a screen share. This is from the Sleep Association. Let's talk about the sleep disorders that the weighted blanket can have some effect on. Let's see here. All right. So the three main sleep disorders are insomnia, sleep apnea, and narcolepsy. So first, I want to just talk about each one a little bit. Sleep apnea first. Most of you, many of you use CPAP. Not all of you. Some of you just think maybe I need to use CPAP. But sleep apnea is when your airway actually blocks off and your breathing stops at certain points through the night. So we all know how great a good night's sleep makes you feel and how flat we feel if we don't. For sleep apnea sufferers, every day can feel like that. They are happy to be alive, but tiredness can be a full-time feeling. So that's sleep apnea. The weighted blanket can have some positive effect with sleep apnea, especially if you have restless leg syndrome along with that. There are some contraindications, or in other words, who should not use a weighted blanket. If you have a heart condition, heart disease, you might not need to use a weighted blanket. Also, for people who have sleep apnea, some folks should not use the weighted blanket. And basically, the ones who should not use the weighted blanket who have sleep apnea, unless they use Cpap, would be the consideration is, what if you were to pull that weighted blanket up too high, and actually now you have this extra weight on your airway that would actually make the problem of the sleep apnea worse, with potential of more apneas. However, if you're keeping the weighted blanket down lower on your body, off of your neck, then the weighted blanket is fine. But I would recommend that with any of these conditions that you check it with your doctor. Just make a phone call. Hey, doc, is it okay if I use a weighted blanket? Most of the time, the doctor's probably going to say yes, but do check it with your doctor. Here's another sleep disorder, insomnia. Many people suffer from insomnia around the world. Have you ever noticed those late night Facebook posts? I see them often, even from friends of mine. And I feel like a weighted blanket might be something that would be helpful. Insomnia, what is it? Insomnia refers to trouble falling or staying asleep. It can affect someone for a short time, such as a few nights or weeks. In other cases, insomnia is chronic and can last for months or even years. The third sleep disorder that is relevant tonight is narcolepsy. Narcolepsy is one of the major sleep disorders, or hypersomnia, and is best described as an uncontrollable excessive sleeping tendency, particularly during what may be considered normal daylight hours. So those are the three main sleep disorders that we're going to be talking about tonight. And so now let's take a look at an article that I found that I really like, and I want to share that with you. But before we do, I just want to check the comments that we have going here. And I see we have some new folks on here tonight. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. I see Kimberly Iman is here. Hello, Kimberly. We have Tucker. What is this? Tucker Daddy, aka John in Quebec. Hello, welcome. That's Canada. Wow, it's cold up there. I'm guessing 39 at Kimberly's place. Sanook weather in 34 degrees. And I see some people are entering the contest. That is fantastic. And I think my computer is locking up and shutting down. Okay. Can you guys still hear me? My computer just did something super weird. It literally blanked out. So if you can still hear me, somebody comment all good, or just let me know here in the comments. I want to make sure this stream is still working. Looking for a comment. Are you guys hearing me? Can you hear me okay? I think maybe you cannot hear me. Oh, no, you can hear me. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate that. All right, so let's move on. I have no idea what my computer just did. That's weird. The internet has been very strange lately. Have you guys noticed that? Okay, so now what I want to do is share this article that I found, if it will let me. Okay, here we go. It's working. Maybe I should get a better computer, guys. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Here it is right here. I found it. All right. Weighted blankets. Can they help you get better sleep? Let me make sure you can see this. Yeah, you're seeing it. Good, good, good. All right. Weighted blankets. Can they help you get better sleep? So now we're going to get into some details about not only the weighted blanket, but how and why a weighted blanket can make a difference. So first of all, what is a weighted blanket? A weighted blanket, which can weigh anywhere between 3 pounds and 30 pounds. Now, by the way, the ones that we provide on our website are either 10 pounds or 20 pounds. Basically, the idea of how many pounds should you get? Should you get the 10 or should you get the 20? The idea is roughly 10% of your body weight is how much your weighted blanket should weigh. However, I will say that choosing a weighted blanket, you really can go with whatever weight you feel the most comfortable with. But a weighted blanket is anywhere between 3 and 30 pounds. It's filled with layers of tiny pellets that are sewn within the fabric. They are designed to apply even pressure across your entire body, similar to what you would feel when you're draped with a lead apron before getting a dental x-ray. So when you've been in the dental shop, many times you've had that apron just placed over you. You know, it's got a little bit of weight to it, but it's not an uncomfortable amount of weight. The extra pressure makes many people feel more secure as they lie in bed, creating a sense of relaxation that helps them to fall asleep. So the benefits, and it's also called a pressure blanket. So a weighted blanket or a pressure blanket. The benefits are that heavy blankets are used as a type of therapy and sleep aid for people with anxiety, ADHD, autism, disorder, and insomnia. They're also sometimes used therapeutically for children with various sensory issues. Among the benefits users reap from weighted blankets are the protection of sensory overstimulation. Weighted blankets help with those with ADHD and other sensory disorders feel protected and calm. The benefits of the weight compression go beyond better sleep. For example, a study in children with autism spectrum disorder or ADHD showed that the use of the weighted vest resulted in increased in attention and on-task behavior. So they are good for children with autism. Isn't that wonderful? So it also is good with at calming of the nervous system. And this is the part of it that I really love about a weighted blanket. By the way, you can use a weighted blanket, not necessarily only when you're sleeping, but they're nice. Like right now, I've got this one over my shoulder, and it feels very calming and relaxing for the most part. But the calming of the nervous system response, the pressure of a heavy blanket has been shown to lower the heart rate and slow down the breathing of people who are anxious. Once they're relaxed, their nervous system, they're better able to sleep. A 2016 study showed a significant calming of patients' heart rates undergoing wisdom tooth surgery. So they literally had people coming in. They did a study. Folks came in to get their wisdom teeth taken out, and some of them, they gave them a weighted blanket, others they did not. And they found that the folks who had the weighted blanket while having a wisdom tooth removed did better. Now, they did still have some spikes and some anxiety, of course, who wouldn't, right? But the point is that there's a difference between those who did not have it and those who did have it. So my thought on after hearing about that study was basically, okay, if it can make you feel calmer for a wisdom tooth removal, then perhaps it also would make you feel a lot better as you're just simply trying to fall asleep on any given night. Also, this is super interesting. With a weighted blanket, there is a release of natural chemicals in the deep pressure. The deep pressure of the weighted blanket may replicate the effects of massage, which can stimulate the production of several important chemicals in the brain. These include serotonin. You know, we've talked about serotonin in our videos of the past, which steadies the mood, helps you relax, enables sleep-wake cycles. Also triggered by heavy blankets and light skin pressure is oxytocin, a hormone that generates feelings of calmness, attachments, relaxation, involved with a sleep-wake cycle. Finally, weighted blankets may help the body suppress release of cortisol, which is a hormone involved in the stress response. So basically, it's less stress and more relaxation with the weighted blanket. I want to focus down on one item that they talked about in here. They mentioned the oxytocin. So have you ever heard that oxytocin is considered or also called the love drug? Oxytocin. Look it up. Look it up. It's super interesting. As a matter of fact, I didn't put everything that it does for you here, but listen to this. Oxytocin is a hormone and a neurotransmitter that is involved in childbirth and breastfeeding. It also is associated with empathy, trust, sexual activity, and relationship building. So this drug basically that your body creates through using a weighted blanket is some of the most awesome things the feelings and emotions that one can have ever in all your life. So the weighted blanket is proven to actually help you release oxytocin, which does all of these wonderful things. So I have to say that I think it's a pretty good thing. Let's check comments here. You guys entering into the contest? I'm just curious. I see blanket. Hearing and seeing you just fine. Hashtag blanket. All right, wonderful. I see you guys are getting into the contest. That's wonderful. Now I want to show you a little more detail about this blanket. We have two different ones on our website. This one is more like for a single bed. It's a smaller blanket. And it's less expensive too, of course, since it's smaller. But hopefully you can see kind of how this is made. It's just a multitude of little squares, all sewn separately. And the entire blanket is exactly the same thing, these little squares. In each square, I wouldn't say it's like a beanbag. It's not really like a beanbag, but it's kind of like a beanbag. It's kind of like a thin beanbag. So each square has its own separate little pocket full of these silicone beads, and they're just equally dispersed throughout there. And so once you lay the entire blanket across your body, then you get an even dispersion of the weight. This particular one is 10 pounds, but that weight feels so good. It's almost like a warm hug on a cold night to have that weighted blanket. And it's sort of like presses you down a little bit in the bed as you're lying there, or on the sofa if you're watching TV, and it just gives you a better sense of centering, almost like a centering sort of. I don't know if I can describe it exactly how it feels, but it feels good. It feels comfortable. It's almost like you got somebody giving you a little hug while you have the blanket on. So with sleep apnea, as you know, a lot of folks who have sleep apnea, you're using Cpap. I hear it all the time, people tossing and turning in the bed with their Cpap mask on. The mask is rubbing them raw because they're doing so much tossing and turning. Maybe, of course, there's no guarantee, but maybe if you had a weighted blanket with the restless legs, it makes it a little harder to move those legs around, and maybe they'll settle down a little bit and allow you to get a little bit more sleep. Because with the restless leg syndrome, it's actually the movement of the legs that often wakes one up from a sleep with or without the Cpap. So if you can keep the legs from moving around, then it's a good thing. So of course they make prescription medication for that also, but if a problem can be solved without a prescription medication, then I absolutely advocate that route. So again, talk to your doctor about these ideas and see what the doc has to say about it. But it certainly could be a really good idea. So this one is the smaller one. And then we have another one on our website, which is a full or a queen size. It's a queen size bed size weighted blanket. And that one is 20 pounds. So this one's 10 pounds. That one's 20 pounds. And so that basically, I want to tell you a little bit more. Let's look at the packaging for the weighted blanket. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Y'all doing good out there? I hope so. All right. So this will be real short, real quick. Aids with insomnia, anxiety, stress disorder, relaxes and calms the mind, which can help those with ADHD, PTSD, or dementia. Physical ailments like restless leg syndrome and fibromyalgia pain help ease body pain without having to use drugs. It is recommended that one hand wash this and air dry it. And this one is 10 pounds, and we do have another queen size one for 20 pounds. So let's take a look at the comments. Hearing and seeing is fine. We have a 15. This is a Facebook user. So whoever commented this, they didn't register their name, and that's fine. But somebody from Facebook said, we have a 15-pound blanket. I'm 70 years old, started CPAP therapy on February of 2021, had a minor stroke late in 2019. The weighted blanket would be bad for me. I'm struggling with my sleep therapy. If you have, and you are using CPAP, then the weighted blanket is questionable. So if the weighted blanket is pulled way up here and the weight of that blanket is on your airway, then that pressure on your airway could actually be a negative, causing your CPAP machine to have to produce more pressure, etc. So for anyone using CPAP, I would recommend just ask your doctor, or make sure the blanket is lower than your neck and down here on your belly, or lower, and then I see no problem with it there at all. But it's just something that you would definitely want to check with your doctor about that. So here's another comment here. That was me, Bob Albright. Hi, Bob. Hey. All right. Joplin, Missouri, the 15-pound blanket. Okay, thank you, Bob. Appreciate that. All right. So now let's see. Do we have anybody in the contest? Yeah, we got a few people in the contest. If you're just now joining us and you want to, I'm going to give you about one more minute to get into the contest. Just type into the comments #blanket, and you will be entered into the contest for the weighted blanket. So it looks like it's not really all that cold out there for you guys. Again, right here, it's 43 degrees. I'd love to know how cold it is. Type in the comments there, the temperature at your place right now. All right. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and go over here. Let's do this. Let's do this drawing. Everybody ready to do it? Let me see somebody comment, spin that wheel, please. Spin that wheel. Let's see who's going to win tonight. Your chances are very good tonight, by the way, of winning this. All right, let's see. Share screen. Chrome tab. Giveaway. All right. So now somebody is going to win a gift card. Let's see who it's going to be. The winner is Kimberly Iman. Kimberly Iman, you have just won a gift card. Congratulations, Kimberly. So glad you did that. Good. Thanks again for being in the competition. Really appreciate it very much, Kimberly, and everyone who entered into the contest. Now, we do the contest every week, and I have decided it's a good time to tell you about this. What I'm going to do is the amount of the gift card. If the viewership increases, and I believe that it has over time. So as the viewership increases, so is the value of the gift card. So tell all your friends and let them know about these lives. And I think we have a little bit of fun. So I'd love to see more people, and we'll increase the gift card. Also, if you haven't already done it, please join our Facebook group over in Facebook. Just search CPAP for beginners, and you'll find the group, join the group, participate in the group. I love to get questions there, try to answer all of them that I can. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please like the page or join the group. So I appreciate it all very much, you guys. Let me just take one more look at comments. And again, you're welcome, Kimberly. Thank you all for being here. You guys stay warm. Check out the weighted blanket on the website, and y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.